So baby's sleeping for the night. Hopefully doesn't get up. Should we paint this thing? I've been sitting here staring at it, considering if I should paint it. And if I do paint it, should I just cover up these holes? And you know what? I really don't care. I think we're just gonna put some paint on it and send it because it will look better with paint. Now we drill holes because we need to run these cables and I don't want to run them across, so we'll run them underneath. It's kicking up a little. Ooh, so let's drop. This should fit no problem. Hole into the other hole. Fair portion of the desk. Speaker. I turned it off. The light bar. It's all screwed in underneath. Nice, look at that. To the top. Negative. Ooh, it still works. And that crazy air bubble in there.
The system posted perfectly with no issues, and I went ahead and updated a bunch of drivers, but after doing some testing I noticed that everything was running a little too hot, actually way too hot. The graphics card was thermal throttling. It was only running about 70 degrees Celsius, but there was a hotspot at 106 degrees Celsius, so I had to tear the whole thing down.
My baby boy is taking a nap and I'm gonna see if I can repaste this RTX 3090 before he wakes up. Oh guys, look how poor this thermal paste was on this GPU. No wonder it was overheating. It's still pretty wet too, so we could probably reuse it, but let's not. You know, if this die, what a scrappy job I did. Problem was I was getting a hotspot of over 100C, which was causing my GPU to throttle. So I'm gonna use this Arctic MX6, which is, you know, it's not no cryonaut or anything like that, but it's good. So he usually naps in at least an hour. He's been napping for about half an hour now. So these connectors should never ever have any type of lock on them, if you ask me. GPU manufacturers, these connectors should never have any type of lock. They should be very loose fit connectors. Looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. Here we go again. Let's cycle it. Hopefully this graphics card turns on. We have no leaks. There's the pump. The bubbles. Here we go again. All right. Let's see. Third time's the charm. Sweet. We fixed it. So hot pot is at 76. Our CPU is at 73. We're there. did it. So that's the importance of GPU Z. You can see the hotspot. So that's why I knew there was something wrong, because even though as hot it is here, I know it was as hot, if not hotter, in the attic at times. So, all right. So obviously we still need to run a bunch more tests. My RAM is on the fritz again, as per usual. I'm gonna go ahead and put this desk together so it's not such a mess. I guess in closing, sorry, I look like a fucking hot mess right now. So in closing, if your megahertz is dropping on your graphics card out of nowhere, it might be some other issues. It might be driver, it might be other things. But if you are like water cooled, or if you've repaced your card, you've moved it X amount of distance, there's a chance that maybe it needs to be tightened or something like that, because clearly here was improper paste on my part. I don't know what I was doing at the time. That was a poor pasting job. So if you're buying a graphics card secondhand and the person says they've already repasted it, I would go as far as to open it up and see if they did do it properly. But other than that, guys, thanks for watching. I'm glad I was able to get it fixed.
2 days later.
Like, a long story short, I fixed everything. Everything's working fine. Everything's running nice and cool now. We've done a little bit more to the desk to set up the soundbar external display right there. It's a 1440p little external display. Mic is set up. We couldn't fit the normal mic holder here because the desk is too thick, so we just drilled a hole. We did a bunch of the cable management. I still got some boxes around here. Pretty good. It's good-ish. There's some rat's nest in there, but from like the desk angle, all you can really see is, minus this cord's hanging out here, it's just that coiled up one, so it looks pretty good. You'll notice that there's a random wire there. Don't look at that paint job. And that's because this wire is hooked up to this power supply. So even though your boy fixed all of the cooling issues in this thing, all of it, something happened out of nowhere. The power supply lightweight gave out. Meaning, it still works, it's still powering the CPU, but it can't power the graphics card anymore for whatever reason. Everything's connected properly. This thing worked for almost 2 years. This Cooler Master SFX, I think it's a 800 watt power supply. It gave out on me, but not catastrophically. Luckily it didn't burn. Luckily it didn't take anything out with it. All it did was it can't power the 3090 anymore. That's why we have the 1000 watt Corsair power supply here. It's actually powered in the 3090. That's why there's a jumper there. I wish it could be as simple as swapping out the power supplies, but that's a ATX, that's a SFX. That does not fit in there. So we are gonna have to do one of two things. Either case swap, meaning we get a different case, we move all the components over, which I really already don't want to do, because this water cooling system it's not the best by no means. If I were to rate it out of 1 out of 10, I would give it about a 7, maybe 6.5, 7. The bends are not the most perfect bends, and I could have done a lot better, but this was my first time hard line water cooling. I didn't even do soft line water cooling because I hated the droopiness of soft line water cooling, and all. That's why I don't like those AIOs as well. And the AIOs are the ones that attach to the CPU, and you see because I hate the droopiness. So that's why I was like, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna go hard line because hard line looks better. Hard line makes me hard. But yeah, we're gonna keep the hard line. So problem is, really don't want to have to redo it. This is actually gonna be the third time redoing this loop, because actually I had to reconfigure everything because we actually had another radiator down here. Actually, the one up top was down here, and I had another 240 mil radiator on the top of here, which is somewhere in the bins here. Yes, the place is still a mess. I work in chaos. I try to keep it clean, but it always ends up looking like this because I do multiple projects at one time, and so it's always a mess. But back to here, case swap, leaning that I'm not gonna do that whatsoever. Second option is building the PC into the desk that I just built. which was actually a cool project. I've actually saw a couple videos on YouTube about it. I've seen it before. People have done it. Linus has done it like 14 times already. A lot of people have done it. I have never done it, but I just paid the first month's mortgage here. I think we're going to be here a while, so this computer case is worthless, essentially, unless I'm okay with a power supply sitting on top of it like that forever. Or maybe we could build a adapter to put this on there. But then at that point, I don't really want to deal with all that. So I think I might just go ahead and build the computer into the desk, and I think it'll be pretty cool. One idea I did have is having all the radiators stacked up here and all the fans underneath, so it's pushing all the air from the bottom up. And as you guys know, this is the dad garage in Arizona. It's hot in here. It's about probably, how hot is it here right now? I don't even know where my thermostat is. 95 degrees. It is almost 10 o'clock at night. It's 95 degrees in here. So it gets pretty freaking hot in here. So it doesn't matter to me because, I don't know if this video came out yet. I hooked up a mini split. So your boy put this Mr. Cool mini split in here. And it doesn't cool down the entire garage. This is a big space. Even though this thing is rated for almost double the size of this place. But the main issue is the insulation here is not the best. And we have concrete floors. So these concrete floors just absorb heat. They stay hot 24/7. You cannot cool these things down whatsoever. With the amount of heat we have here. So they're just constantly radiating heat, even if you cool it down. You can't cool them down. You just can't. So that, plus, I don't know if there's any insulation above us. I haven't gone onto that. I don't have a ladder tall enough to get up there. Because I do want to drop some Ethernet cables and some powers eventually. And also a bug got into my my reservoir because I left that open. Forgot. Now I got a bug in there that I got to fish out, but it's all good because we're going to take this thing apart anyway. I guess that's how we'll end it. The desk came out great. It's perfect, exactly what I need. It's a really nice setup. I'm not gonna lie. I adore this setup. It just sucks that we had so many problems with the PC, and the fact that this power supply went out. It's kind of crazy to me. It's coming together. The dad garage is definitely coming together. And man, the gaming on this thing is awesome. So real quick caveat on the screen. It is everything I wanted it to be. It's a great screen. The only issue with this screen is if you can't control the lighting in your room, meaning you maybe have a window behind you, or some type of glare coming from a different light source that you can't turn off. This is not one you want because the reflection of it is insane. You'd want a matte finish screen, which is what all the other OLEDs have. So if you can control the lighting like I can over here, then go for it. But other than that, guys, thanks for watching. And wait, one more tip. Always have a spare power supply. I don't care. You should always have a spare power supply. Now that I'm gonna have to use this, I'm going to have to get another power supply as a spare just to make sure to test everything, because if it wasn't for the spare power supply, I would be troubleshooting all day long. But I've had a thought it might be the PSU because of the light indicator in the back of the graphics card. That's what it typically means, and I googled it to confirm, so I plugged that in and everything works just fine. Actually, I'm going to test it right now. Other than that, guys, thank you for watching. One day we'll clean this place up. One day. By the way, big shout out to Ryobi. I bought this with my own money. I love this shop vac.